Hey everyone, welcome back to Warfighter Bravo. This is going to be part two of kind of like my mental health series through talking about stories of my deployments. Just like what you heard there, uh, you could hear either one of my dogs this entire time. That's definitely got to be the pup. Anyhow, um, if you can bear with that, and hopefully people can, get something from this if you have a friend or family member or you yourself maybe have PTSD or something like that, or maybe you can relate and just enjoy the story. And sometimes it's good just to talk about old times. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get this kicked off. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get right into first deployment to Iraq. This would have been 2005 to 2006. As you remember, so the guy that I looked at like as my hero, like my brother at one time was my best friend, at one time was, you know, he was a protege at one time, okay? Like I was already an E4. He came in as a PFC, I believe, if I remember right. And my God, he was just a go-getter. And of course, so fast forward, I believe I was in country 2 months. Yeah. Or excuse me, not in country, but I was, I had got there like a couple months after him, after he died. Anyway, so I get to Iraq, and before we meet up with the unit, because they were already forward at the time, before we meet up with the unit, I go into the MWR, and as I said in the first part, that's where I saw, you know, in a fucking paper, man. How do you learn about that shit in a fucking paper? But anyhow, so after we get done with our calls and everything, I knew I had to pull it together really quick. There was a mission to be done, and I had to prove myself to this new group of guys that I was just about to meet. I knew, coming in, you know, having a SF patch. Sorry. Um, Having an SF patch on my sleeve, I should have known going into it that I would have immediately hit barriers there because the expectations would be so high, and also it just would draw fire because people would think you're automatically fucking hot shit ego type things, and that's fucking the exact opposite of what I am. But I dealt with that a lot. I really did. And you know, uh, yeah. So I'm think about this. I just find out that fucking my hero dies. I go to meet this unit. I'm already one leg down because you're coming in. These guys are a tight knit group. They've already been deployed. They've already been on mission. They've already fucking got sand in their fucking teeth. They've already got blood on their fucking hands. These guys already have been through the shit. Okay, like we were doing convoy security in Iraq, And, you know, I had already heard on the way there, because there were some guys that had already gotten pretty hurt, that got hit with an IED or, you know, whatever. There was already guys getting sent back home. And so I knew these guys were in the shit. I knew it. And in a lot of ways at that time, because of what happened and what I found out about, it was game on. It was game on, dude. I was like, I'm not going to let one of these guys die. I'm not going to lose another brother. Fuck that. So when I met him, I'm coming up and I see this ragtag band. I think they had just got off a mission, which is fucking great. You know, like, you're just meeting these guys. They freaking just come off a mission. They're tired. Fucking, you're sweaty. You're grimy. You're just, you're hangry. So I meet him, and I mean, it's just a ragtag band. These guys, it looked like outlaws. It looked like outlaws. Like, I friggin' met them. Like, one guy was walking around with, like, a bat. And, you know, like, I mean, it just, you know, I was looking for mohawks and shit. Yeah! And, so I meet Chris Bavis. That was my, he was the convoy commander. And I see this dude. He was probably 23, 24, E6. You know, I knew immediately if you're that young, and especially I think he was FDC, fire direction. If you made E6 that quickly, you know, you're high speed. So immediately I was like, good, this guy's my fucking go-to. And he squared the fuck away. Meaning that at least the guy that's running the fucking convoy knows what the fuck he's doing. That's a huge relief, right? Then I meet Jose Chavira, which comes out right behind him. Hispanic guy, E5. He is what you would consider, like I said, just a fucking outlaw. Then I find out, after we get home from deployment, I find out that he freaking rides Harleys. How did I nail it or what? Great guy, freaking damn good NCO, knew his shit, did his job well, and being a Hispanic guy, man, he was fun. He was so much fun because, you know, he you gave him the respect, and at the same time, he knew how to get respect through, you know, comedy, but also, you know, and when he had to be, he could be a hard ass, and of course, that's what it was all about back then. You know, we're trying to get home. We have no time for games, right? So I'm meeting these guys. They have no idea that my hero fucking died. That I just read about it in the newspaper, man. So I knew I had to prove myself to these guys pretty quick. It didn't take long. A lot of them were very abrasive to me at first, and I expected that, and that's good. You got a new guy coming in. Are you going to be fucking dead weight? Are you going to be a dud? Or are you going to actually freaking, you know, be a resource and not possibly get one of us killed? I get it. I get it. You know, this is a freaking, when you get in these groups, when you get in these squads and these platoons and stuff, you get close. And when you're at war, you get even closer. So even another soldier coming from another unit, you know, you got to prove yourself. Well, it didn't take long for me to get on the road. They were like, okay, you know, you know, welcome to the war. You've sat back long enough. You're coming out. And so, hell yeah. Let's see. I believe Sergeant Highland was my truck commander, and I was, this would have been a 240 Bravo on the up armored Humvee. The very first mission, they told me, they were like, dude, we're getting hit. We've already had IEDs. We've already got people that have gotten hurt, that have been sent back. You guys are replacements, man. Just like, think of like Band of Brothers. That's what we were. Me and Sergeant Island, we were replacements. Okay? But in the difference in World War II, we weren't fucking 17-year-old kids We were seasoned veterans. Highland and I deployed. He was, I believe he was in Afghanistan. Yeah, he was. He was with Charlie Battery. I was with Bravo Battery. And so when we met up, it was like, holy cow, we were both in Hawaii together. We came back, and then sure enough, we get out there and we're ready to rock, you know. So the difference was we were seasoned replacements, which helped us to get in close. But the first mission, boy, they told me as soon as we leave the wire, fucking, this is no joke. This is, you know, Convoy security is, these supplies got to fucking, because you're 6 trucks and you're taking a convoy, and God, the guys will have to remind me how many trucks. I know that our convoys were sometimes miles long when we spread out. And you can get ambushed. They will drive their trucks and hit your fucking Humvees. They will try to shoot, like, the drivers of the trucks. They'll shoot the tires out of the trucks. They'll use IEDs on the trailers on either the rear truck or the front 18-wheeler. Convoy security is no fucking joke. Okay, these are supplies that are going to bases that are red, that are black, that, you know, these guys haven't had mail in fucking 60 days, 90 days. These guys haven't had food. These guys haven't, and so it's on us. It's on us to get this shit where it needs to go. That's fuel too. Think about that. Think about 6 gun trucks with battle-hardened dudes that looked like Mad Max. Not gonna lie to you. All of these guys were shooters. All of these guys were proven. All of them had been in the gunner seat. Then we also had an ASV. And that is an armored vehicle. I believe it's armored support vehicle. And on it is a turret with a 50 cal and a Mark 19. And it has specific stuff to make sure that we know where you're at, okay? So, and again, all this information is well known. This is fucking tech from 20 years ago, etc. And you can find all this shit, Wikipedia, Pornhub, all that. So anyway, I meet these guys, we go, man, radio checks, we're loading up. I was already smart enough to know when I was putting my ammo cans in the truck. You know, you have 200 round ammo cans. I'm smart. What I would do is I would actually link 2 cans together and have that 400 rounds on standby, and how I would set it up is it would pull from it perfectly. What we'd do sometimes is we'd modify 50 cal cans. And huge thank you to Bill Tack, James Franson, and I mean a lot of those guys, Brian Garabrandt, a lot of them knew the tricks of the trade. They were all E4s at the time, and they took me under their wing and they got me squared away as far as, you know, angles of fire. Friggin' they started getting me caught up on convoy tactics. Bill was in the ASV, and he was a freaking monster, dude. Oh my god. That was the guy you wanted in the ASV. That was the guy that you knew without a shadow of a doubt would do the job. He's a great American. He's just 100% USA. Freaking, he's the kind of guy that you knew if the event came, he was the one that was going to get like a Silver Star, you know, type level award, you know. That's the caliber of people. I don't know how lucky I got. I mean, the NCOs were squared the fuck away. The soldiers were squared away. Everybody was battle hardened. Everybody, every one of them. Normally you have 1 or 2 shaky guys, okay? Every one of these dudes were freaking hardcore, man. Danny Roan. God, there's so many. God, McCormick, Sean. So many. I'm sorry if I'm missing them, but all of these guys, hitters. Again, competitive too. I knew immediately these guys were huge competitors. You know, we all fed off each other. That's where we pulled our motivation and everything. And so, actually, give me 1 second. Let me get this pup in. And
No!
All right. So, you know, we get out of the wire. Like I said, these guys are hardcore. And sure as shit, that first mission. Freaking tracers from the left. Hit the push to talk. Contact left. PID confirmed. Return to center. By the time Sergeant Highland had rekeyed up, Chris Davis, he keyed up to Convoy commander, and all you could hear was my speaker hearing the rounds just pouring into the. I remember Sergeant Highland, lay down. I remember Sergeant Highland freaking saying the only thing he could hear is ching 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 ching, you know, both of the rounds coming down. You know, doing my best three round bursts, and what a time! Hearing all the guys light up, all the, you know, at that time it was American truck drivers driving KBR trucks. You could see them cheering us on, man. You want to talk about a patriotic moment, just feeling that motivation, knowing that you're protecting those guys, those patriots, those supplies that we're trying to push forward to these camps, knowing that we are doing everything we can to keep each other alive. And again, you just smell anyone that's been in a firefight. You're scared, but you use that fear. You know, what I tell people is one of the main things to get you through so many times is muscle memory. Train, 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 train with your firearms, train with your firearms, train with your firearms. Because you turn that fear into courage, and then you get on target, and you make sure you're focused, you make sure you're on point, and then you squeeze that trigger. But when you have I knew I needed to prove myself, but at the same time I had already, you know, gotten close to some of these guys, you know. Thinking of my hero, and you know, they're like, you're just fighting farmers and angry freaking citizens. Yeah, okay. That's what these guys were. You could feel the hatred. These were former military. Maybe some of them were radical freaking civilians. A lot of people said they didn't want us over there. Man, we had people cheering all the time, man. Not all of them. It wasn't nearly what the left was saying there, you know, as far as like the people were unrest. That wasn't until later, like 07, 08 time frame. And the problem was at that time were the streets, the smell. I'll never forget the smell. Oh my God, in the cities, the smell of garbage and feces and burned flesh, burned animals, raw meat, raggedy ass dogs. I'll never forget one time I saw this dog running and I was like, what the hell? And it had barbed wire from this dude, this Iraqi shop, around its leg, and it was running, trying to get away from all the commotion. There was civilians also. And the shit that you see over there, and nobody helping it, nobody doing anything. because these dogs were like mangy, diseased animals. And I'm an animal lover, so I'm just like, oh my God, you know, you're the shit that you see there, you will never forget. It haunts my visions all day long. I was never, combat did not affect me. My kryptonite was when I started losing guys. You know, think about having loved ones. You know, I've lost 20, okay? Most people lose one loved one and they collapse, you know? There for a minute, I was having guys dropping like flies. You know? Tell me who doesn't break. I mean, I don't even know how I stood a chance, man. I don't know how I'm alive. But those guys took me under their wing. We ended up kicking ass, taking names. A lot of us ended up very close. And I'll never forget those guys. I'll never forget all the amazing times. I'll never forget how good that how close everybody was, but how confident everybody was in each other's abilities. I got so lucky through my time in the military. I just had such high caliber of guys around me. But anyways, we're gonna leave this one off here. I'm gonna do future videos where I tell more stories of these deployments, but for right now I want to talk initially about each deployment, give you an idea of how the initial part of it was set up, and then I'll go into stories later on. But this truly does help me out. My therapists and docs and everything have really been pushing it for me, you know, to talk about it and stuff. And what you don't know is my PTSD is so bad that I really don't leave my house. This is the room that I feel most comfortable. I can see comings and goings. You know, I leave my windows slightly cracked. I can keep an eye on my truck and my other supplies. You know, I mean, it's easy to not see everything going on through a video, you know. But we'll get more into that kind of stuff later. Anyways, I appreciate it, everybody. Anybody. I don't even know if there's one person that's ever going to see this. But if you do, I really appreciate you. And I will see you for the next one.